Hello there, welcome to my cooking class. I'm making a surprise for you. Today is pumpkin cheesecake, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with this product, but it is an exclusive item. Of course, perfect timing for the holiday season. It is a host benefit for the month of September, so you can get it right away by gathering some friends, collecting some orders up to 250 retail, and boom, you can grab this. Get it sooner than later so that it can be at your dinner table for Thanksgiving in Canada, which is in October, and of course the USA in November. That being said, I've got an inside tip for those of you who are maybe saying, oh, I don't know if I really want to do a host event. Don't worry. If you want this, and you will want it, it is in our Epic box for the month of September. So sign up for a subscription. $35, $38 in Canada. You can get a box that has this as well as 6 other items perfectly curated for the season for you. So this is called the Epic box, and you can get your own pumpkin cheesecake. This is amazing, and we're gonna make it today so you can see my little hacks and how fun this is. So let's grab our mix. By the way, the instructions are right on the back of the package. We'll use our cutting scissors. Love these, nice and sharp. Always handy to have in the kitchen. And if you have children, you know that different scissors go disappearing and you'll never find them. But if you keep a pair in your drawer with your different kitchen utensils, maybe they won't find it and you'll be able to use it when you want. Okay, so what we're doing is we've got a mix master here. I'm going to put the seasoning mix, and then we're going to add, I've cut up some cream cheese. This is light cream cheese that I'm using because, of course, with Epicure, we always try to make it a little bit healthier, but we're not skimping on the flavor and how good it is. So let's just whip this up until it's nice and soft. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I just realized I probably should have put in my earbuds. Now, one thing I will mention is when you're using a mixing bowl, you'll probably find that the cheesecake or the cheese will be coming up the sides as it has. So grabbing our spatula, this is a perfect time to just put this in. Make sure you turn it off. We don't want to have any little accidents. And just scrape this down so you can make sure that we've got a nice consistency all the way through. What I'm going to do now is I've got 3 eggs, and we're going to just add these one at a time and get it incorporated. Now I'm noticing as well, as I'm doing this, that again, there is the thicker cheesecake still on my walls, but it is starting to soften up a bit. So we're just going to give this another scrape, making sure that we've got all the little bumps of the cheesecake out, because we want to have a nice, smooth, creamy, luscious cheesecake, right? We've got our eggs done. Now the instructions say, okay, you're adding that one at a time. And now to make it pumpkin, and just to give you an idea of what's in the package actually has cane sugar and orange and spices. Okay, so it's got the flavoring, but doesn't have the pumpkin yet. So do not buy pumpkin pie filling. What you're gonna look for is pure pumpkin. Grabbing a spatula, we're going to scoop a 14-ounce can of pumpkin right into here. And mix it again. That didn't take long, did it? So let's just remove our beater. Give this a view. And as you can see, I've got a little bit of areas that maybe haven't got mixed as well, but this is where you're going to get your spatula in there and just make sure we've incorporated everything in, so we've got that nice flavor. Oh, now you can see we've got a beautiful color. So what are we gonna do with this? Well, here we go. Here's the fun of it. We have this amazing product, and one of the challenges I've always found with cheesecake is if you make cheesecake in the big springform pan, it's something that sits in your fridge, takes up a lot of real estate, but it's also something that maybe isn't so good for you if you're trying to, have a healthier lifestyle, because that is so tempting. So I want to introduce you to one of my favorite products. In fact, it was actually featured in a Canadian magazine actually, Canadian House and Home, as being the revolutionary product that every kitchen needed. If you're not familiar with it, let me introduce you to our Perfect Petites. This is a silicone. It's got 30 different slots. And I find this is absolutely perfect for cheesecake, because now you can pour the cheesecake mixture into these. You can cook it in the oven, and then you're going to freeze it and pop them out, and you're going to have perfect portion desserts. 2 of these makes a perfect portion, and I'm going to show you how beautiful you can plate this and how you're going to use this as a hack. Excited? Now you've probably noticed that I've already got graham crackers in here. Yes, there's your first time saver. What you're going to do, if you're gluten intolerant, you may be able to find some gluten-free crackers. If not, a couple options that you can use is maybe you want to do a shortbread cookie base, or we just came out this year, this fall, with a smart cookie base. So you can mix those up. They're 100% gluten-free, and just put a nice little layer on the bottom of that and pre-bake them, okay? So get them pre-done. I don't have a gluten intolerance. I do try to not use as much gluten because most of my friends are gluten intolerant. But for the sake of showing you this quick little hack, what I do is I just go to the store, I buy the cookies, and then if you use a sharp little knife, you can snap these, and you'll probably find that you'll have to cut a little bit from the sides and the top, and then you can perfectly stick these in here, and we've got our base done. No more fuss with having to get the crumbs and the butter and the mixing. It's done for you. How cool is that? So now it gets really simple. You're going to take your cheesecake, and we're just going to put some cheesecake on the top of each one. And we've got our oven set to 375 degrees. Make sure it's preheated. Now, some cheesecake recipes actually tell you that you have to put it in a water bath. We're going to give you some information, a little bit about the history of that. But I'm going to tell you, because of this cheesecake being in the small little sizes that it is, you're not going to find that they're going to crack. And that's the reason why people put it in a water bath. I don't know if you've ever tried making cheesecake, but you get those big cracks on the top. That happens to you. There's ways that you can camouflage it with whipping cream and maybe churro, which is what I'm going to be doing today. But with these, as I mentioned, these small little tiny petites, you're not going to have to worry about that. So just go ahead and put, I don't know, I'm going to say it's probably about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more than a tablespoon, in each one of these little areas. And then when your oven is ready, we're just going to pop it in and bake it for about 20 to 25 minutes, making sure that it's nicely set. So I've got all my 30 little Perfect Petites filled almost to the top. If you have any residual that pops onto the tray, maybe grab some sort of, I don't know, knife or something and try to clean it off as best you can. I'm just going to clean this one off again. A little bit overfilled that one. And now it's just a matter of throwing it in the oven. So here I go, and I'll be right back. So let's talk about the quantity that this package makes. So as you can see, I still have more here. So this could be, you can cook this first part up and then chill it and cool it and set this aside and do a second batch. So I've got my perfect little petites in there. 30 of them are baking right now. It's going to be about 20 minutes or so. And so I've still got leftovers. So if you want, you can actually bake this, set this aside, and once that's cooked, chilled, maybe a little bit frozen, popped out, do the next set. If you would sooner, you can make maybe something different. Put this in little ramekin dishes and bake it so they're little tiny portions again. So let's go back in time to cheesecake. Where did this come from? Now, a lot of you may know that New York City, New York cheesecake, and maybe you thought that this is where it actually created. But if we go back in history, there's actually written notes that there was a similar type of loaf that was baked over hot fires, and it was called libum, L-I-B-U-M, and this was very popular. In fact, it was such a delicacy that it was given to the gods, and later brides and grooms were using this to officiate their weddings and so on and so forth. So it's had quite an evolution way back in the day. But how did it become what it is today? Because it certainly is not libum of the past. Well, apparently France has something to do with this. So France created this luscious creamy cheese, Neufchâtel, I think is how it's pronounced. Anyway, this rich creamy cheese came across the ocean. Now there was a fellow in New York, so here's a New York connection, a farmer actually, who tasted that cheese and fell in love with it. And you know there's always copycats. Well, he was a copycat and thought, you know what, I'm gonna make this cheese myself over here. So he tried to create that famous French cheese. I'm not going to say it was a fail. Nothing when you move forward, you know, there's that saying, fail forward. Well, this was one of those examples. So he was trying to create this fabulous French cheese and ended up creating cream cheese. So there's how it started. So then this cream cheese ends up getting into a cheesecake. Now we can thank Reuben from Reuben Restaurants in New York City, who, and there was also another restaurant called Turf Restaurant, who created a cheesecake in New York City in 1920. And of course it was kosher and it was delicious and took on a huge fanfare. Actresses and actors came in for it, and it became the thing for New York City and New York City cheesecake. There's so many different types of cheesecakes out there. In Germany, they use quark, which is like a sour cream kind of base instead of cheesecake, or instead of cream cheese. We've got Chicago cheesecake. We've got Philadelphia, which is light and fluffy. So anyway, there's so many different types of cheesecakes. They can be savory, they can be sweet, they can be made with honey, they can be made with eggs, they can be made with sour cream. The options are endless. And because we don't want to frustrate you in figuring out how you want to make your cheesecake, we've got it all done for you in our pumpkin cheesecake. Remember, grab this while it's available. It is not in our current catalog, okay? So remember, you can get this by being a host in the month of September, or for those of you who just want to get it in your hot little hands, purchase our epic box before the end of September. This will get shipped out from home office on October 1st, so you can have this on your table, in your home, and in your tummy with that luscious, rich, pumpkin-flavored cheesecake. You're going to love it. So it's been 20 minutes. Let's take a look. Here is our perfect petites. Delicious. So now all we need to do is let these cool. Get your cooling rack out. I am going to now let these cool down a bit, and then once they're cooled, I'm going to throw them in the freezer, freeze them up a bit, and we're just going to pop these out and get ready to make our next batch. Sounds like a great plan, right? How cute are these? Okay, so our cheesecake in our perfect petites are cooked. They were cooled. I threw them in the freezer, and now let me show you a quick little trick on this. So by freezing them, it's going to chill them enough so they're not sticky. And you're going to pull it and pop it. And in doing so, these are going to pop right out so they're perfect. Super easy, so just go through your whole tray. Now, of course, perfect serving size. Of course, you can feed this to your guests. But here's the deal. I talked about one of the reasons you wanted to use this is so you don't have a big cheesecake thing happening in your fridge and you're going back and eating and eating and eating. And let's face it, we're getting into a little bit of trouble. You can pop these out and throw them in freezer bags, label them and when you made them, and when guests pop in unexpectedly and you go, oh, I don't have dessert. Yes, you do. You can go down to your freezer, open up one of these little packages. These will be frozen, but because of the size, in about 15 minutes, the freezing will be off and you will have this decadent pumpkin cheesecake people will love. So yes, you can serve it just like that, but hey, we can amp it up a bit. So what we can do is maybe grab a little bit of whipping cream. Maybe put a little dollop on each end. We don't need to totally cover it. Let's get fancy, fancy dancy. Oops, get that on there. Now, a couple things you could do. You could get our candied yams and make some pecans. So candied yam pecans. You can just stick that on. Or another alternative is to grab our churro. So our churro is basically this organic sugar and cinnamon, and it's got organic cocoa in it. And this would just be really nice, just sprinkled on top. Dust the plate a little bit. And there you go. You have a quick, easy dessert. Now, as I mentioned, this pumpkin cheesecake that I just made is an exclusive item. It's for our hosts. So collect some orders with one friend reaching $250. You can order it before the end of September. Or if you want, grab a subscription for our Epic box. In the month, you have to purchase the subscription in the month of September. October, beginning of October, a box will be shipped to you, and in that box will be your pumpkin cheesecake. This cannot be found in the catalog. So I hope you enjoyed today's cooking class. Remember, pop back again on another Thursday. Who knows what I might be cooking? But today, it was all about desserts and how you can have a healthy life eating dessert when it's perfectly portioned and has great flavor. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care and bye for now.